Let's start one more session, thanking once again all the kindness of the spirits of light present here. We are all happy with this work that is being done with complete support of our masters in order to improve the future of humanity. So, let's begin our session today with the teachings of our masters. So be it. Good evening. I would like to share some words in this session today. I believe we can talk and go deeper into a subject that is about our brotherhood. We know there are rules here in our session, so let's not mention names. But I think it's important that everyone knows that we are working here with our brotherhood. And we want to talk a little more about our brotherhood. Our brotherhood was born in Brazil, and we've been here for 70 years. We are of African origin, and we know that we still suffer many prejudices in society. But, as we've been saying for a while, we have a lot to contribute to you. We know the reality of the Brazilian people. We know that the Brazilian people are different from all other people. We know that we are in a community or in a region with a very large miscegenation. And it is because of this miscegenation that this region was chosen to lead the world in this new age. We would like to invite our brother of the Indigenous Brotherhood to talk about a very important issue that human beings have been forgetting over time. Being of light from the Indigenous Brotherhood. We have been preparing for this moment for a long time. We know that we are not the protagonists of this new age, but we are here willing to help everyone. With the knowledge we received from our ancestors, with the knowledge of the region, with the knowledge of the energy we have here, knowledge of the fauna and flora, we know that many cures can be carried out with the elements that are found in nature, in our nature, in the nature of the Brazilian land. And in addition to that, of the animals, such as fish, birds, and many substances that have long been used by our ancestors to solve numerous problems of our everyday life. Therefore, the diseases that are here, that originate in our Brazilian land, can be treated exactly with the fauna and flora of the Brazilian land itself. It is known that we have in the Amazon a wide range of herbs that have specific properties for healing, that have not yet been discovered by scientists, but have long been used here. We know all the controversy that is now in vogue in the region about the devastation of our lands. And we say that with a great sadness. We really say it with sadness because our people have already suffered so much. They really have suffered a lot. Today, we know that we suffered because of our innocence, which was our characteristic. And other people, like Europeans, especially Europeans, driven by desire, by greed, for always thinking about money, have whipped out entire villages, a real slaughter, a real genocide. For a long time, we wondered why we deserved all this. We know of God's mercy. We know that God is merciful, but it's hard to understand why this happened to our people. With great sadness, I tell you this. But anyway, we were glad to know that our Brazilian land was chosen to lead the world. And we are willing to help everyone. We are willing to help with our knowledge so that people can evolve, so that diseases that are still considered incurable are cured with the medicine we have used for a long time, learned and taught by the spirits of light who have guided us and who still guide us until this day. And also with things such as our rituals, from which we can evoke the spirits who have always helped us, the spirits of our ancestors, the spirits who carry a great load of knowledge, and this knowledge can be disseminated to all mankind now through you, starting with this unique group of spirits who are present here, with all the kindness, with all the energy, with pure feelings, all with a common goal. So we are very proud to participate in this group of people. Beginning to talk a little about our knowledge, we can say that the Indigenous have a pure heart because of the distance kept from civilization for a long time. Also because of the maintained rituals which made us remain with a purer heart, a heart with a great energy, and this energy, with the purity of a child, has the ease of capturing the energies of beings of light. Consequently, we have more easily obtained contact with the beings of light and with our ancestors. We value our ancestors very much. We are always praying that they are well, because we know that if they are well, we will also be well. It is a very close relationship between the spirits of our ancestors and our human bodies here on earth. We know that we receive great influence from the energy of our ancestors. Therefore, one very important thing that must be learned by Western civilization is the worship of ancestors. Ancestor worship is very important. It is important to know that there is a round-trip relationship of energies between human beings and their ancestors, so that if the ancestors are not well in the astral world, they directly interfere with the energy of human beings here on earth. We will quote here two extremes. Human beings are responsible for their loved ones, their families. This relationship extends to uncles, aunts, grandparents, cousins. It is a huge chain. This chain must always be united. This chain can never be broken. And once this chain breaks, everyone is harmed, both the dead and the living. This is a knowledge that Western humans do not have. Using a very dramatic example, a human being who has finished with his own life, that is, committed suicide, has an impact on all generations of this family, the former and the latter. Because if such thing happened, It is not only the fault of the person who committed suicide, but also of all loved ones who have relationship with him. When I say the loved ones who are related, I mean these are blood relations. These are spiritual energy relationships. So yes, the closest human beings are relatives. They are not friends, they are relatives. And they are all responsible for your family. Once a suicide happens, everyone in the family failed, and the consequence is for everyone. There is collective karma that is triggered when a situation like this happens. Through this example, we want to demonstrate that it is important for all human beings to dedicate themselves to their families, to take good care of their loved ones, their families, and watch over their well-beings and lives. If each human being related well to their families and maintained a close relationship and watched over the lives, the health, the happiness of their families, of each member of their families, this world would be very different from what it is. I believe that these are good news which have to be made very clear, especially to the Western world. It is well known that Asians have this definition very clear. They know the importance of ancestor worship. They know the importance of family. But in the Western world, we are increasingly away from this situation. We have parents who don't recognize children. We have children who are angry with their parents, who hate their parents. We have cousins who kill themselves. We have entire families who are rivals. Even with blood ties, they are still rivals. These families are doomed to disgrace. In the teachings of Jesus Christ, he always quoted, "Love your neighbor as yourself." Who's next closest to you? It's your family. The next one closest to you? It's your father, it's your mother, it's your brother. After that, grandparents, uncles, cousins. It is important that everyone is okay. It is important that everyone watches over their lives. There is no point in you being okay when your brother is not well. You have to help your brother. We are all brothers, yes, but who's the closest one? If everyone did their own duty, we wouldn't have any problems in this world. Likewise, ancestors, in other words, beings who have passed away, also have to struggle to evolve spiritually to the point of being able to obtain the amount of energy needed to be able to help their families on earth. Beings who have passed away must seek evolution, must always seek light, always be at a better level, working to raise their spiritual level, to raise their spiritual energy to the point of being able to work for the good, for the benefit of their family, helping them, intuiting them in the most necessary moments, in times of difficulty, in times of need. And this is only possible when you reach an appropriate spiritual level, a high spiritual knowledge, enough to be able to act energetically in human beings. So it's a cycle that must always be in ascendant curve, where human beings pray to their ancestors. Their ancestors, through prayer, can achieve sufficient energy levels to raise their backgrounds, and their ancestors, with this high energy, can help their loved ones who are still incarnated. And this cycle causes the energy to grow more and more. And that way, everyone is fine. This is one of the secrets of success. I do not say material success, but rather the success of spiritual elevation. We can also mention when we have in our family a being of high position, of high elevation in the spirit world. This being is able to help all relatives on earth. Similarly, if you have a living relative of high elevation, he or she can help all incarnate relatives. Of course, as has already been said, these human beings have to be at a level of energy that enables them to receive this bonus from these evolved beings. That is, human beings can only receive energies if they also have a high degree of positive energy. Just as we know that obsessives can act in lives of human beings, also highly elevated ancestors can help these human beings in order to raise their energy. Of course, all of this when one has consent, when one reaches a high degree in the spiritual world, at the spiritual levels. Speaking a little more about this spiritual elevation, we know that with the disincarnating of a human being, the beings of light that are high elevated can help the beings who have just passed away and help in this transition between the material world and the spirit world. When you do not have these beings of high elevation in the family, the being who has just disincarnated is lost, especially those beings who have not had in life the knowledge of spiritual teachings and do not know how to proceed after death. This is one more reason why we should pray for our ancestors, so that they may be elevated and able to help us in the moment of disincarnating. It is also important to know that spiritual elevation for beings who have already disincarnated is a very rigorous process that requires a human being to devote himself to have a good feeling, because in the spiritual world, beings are transparent. There is no way to deceive people. There is no way to deceive beings of the spiritual world. Everything is very transparent. Everything is very visible. Through the energy of beings, it is possible to distinguish who is good and who is bad, who is interested, who is not interested in spiritual evolution. And spiritual evolution takes place through study, meditation, self-knowledge, and knowledge of human consciousness, of Christ consciousness. That is why it is important for human beings to seek this knowledge in order to facilitate not only their life on earth, but also the transition between the material and the spiritual world. The more spiritual knowledge the easier the transition is, as well as the spiritual evolution. Therefore, the message that must be passed on to human beings is that they always seek knowledge about spiritual evolution, always pray for their ancestors, and treat their families with kindness, love, and dedication. As much as there are differences between the people in the family, if these people knew how important the relationship between family members is, maybe that would change their way of thinking. The spiritual energies of people in the same family have a great interaction, a much greater interaction than the energies of other people. Of course, during our lives, we can make lasting friendships that even change people's karma, and these energies are also valid for spiritual evolution. But there is nothing like the relationship between family members. The energy current between a father and a son, or a mother and a son or daughter, is immeasurable. This is explained, as already said, through what we call a reincarnation plan, where spirits choose who they want to be born with, how close these beings are. All this is outlined on the spiritual plane. I hope I've been clear in my statements. Was I clear, Master Tanaka? Yes, very clear. Okay, Master, I am available to answer questions and doubts. Master Tanaka comments, we need to put this knowledge into practice, disseminate and make human beings aware of how important family relationship is, and get out of these dogmas and religious practices created by human beings which imprison them in a mandatory practice, unnecessarily and totally out of spiritual knowledge. Being of light answers. Exactly, Master Tanaka. Another point I would like to make in this selected group of light beings is that the flora of a region can greatly influence the energy level of humans. That's why we can't destroy the flora. This is very important. Century-old trees, for example, are a fantastic source of energy. They are sources of spiritual energy that can be used by human beings. It is known that humans in contact with nature within a forest, for example, may even feel better because of the energy emanating in that region of the forest. The energy emitted by the trees, by nature, when one is aware of it, one is able to absorb it and raise one's energy. In some cases, even without having this knowledge, even without having the awareness that energy can be absorbed, some people with more sensitivity can even feel the difference in energies. On the other hand, disincarnated beings who have a low amount of energy also seek these places to absorb their energies. That is why it is common in some forests, people with a higher degree of sensitivity can feel these energies of both nature and of disembodied beings. The energy emanating from century-old trees are energies from the bottom of the earth. They are pure energies, energies that can even heal people who know how to handle them. In a not too distant future, these energies will be known to humans through science and will be able to use them. We hope this date will come soon as possible, so that people in the civilized world enjoy the same energies that the indigenous people learned how to use and have used and benefited from during long periods, much of their time as humans on Earth. Man's greed gradually depleted all this beauty with this energy. More and more, these forests were being devastated and replaced by man-made constructions, buildings for his own comfort. It's a great pity, but they are the remains of material evolution that there is no point in fighting with. We have to accept and work with this reality, and that is why we are here. Spirits of Light, Master Tanaka, I thank you very much for the opportunity to be here talking a little bit about our knowledge. We still have a lot to talk about, but I believe that for today we can close it, so the session is not tiring. I would like to say that we are feeling grief at this moment for Terras Brasilis because of all these problems that we are having with our Amazon, with our forest. But we believe that there is a bigger plan, that there is a reason why, and everything in life are made by causes and consequences. And time will tell us the cause of all this. Regardless of the feelings that the indigenous people have of sorrow, of sadness, of melancholy, we are willing to assist in all the work that is done towards spiritual evolution. And we are very pleased with this opportunity that is being given to us. I thank our mentor. I thank all of the brotherhoods that are part of it, and we are willing to help in any way we need to. Thank you very much. Mentor replies, Master Tanaka, once again, thank you very much for this session. I am sure that our brother has brought a lot of important information, and that this information will be compiled by you. With the distribution of this information, surely another seed will be planted in humanity in search of evolution, right? Okay, Master Tanaka. Okay, spirits of light. We thank you very much for the presence of all, and especially our brother of the Indigenous Brotherhood. Thank you all very much, and have a great week.